The door of the dusty record shop creaked open like a sigh from the past, and in shuffled an old man whose faded suit hung loosely on his frail frame, carrying the weight of decades unspoken. His eyes, rimmed with the kind of sorrow that time etches deep, scanned the shelves lined with forgotten melodies, each vinyl a portal to memories long buried. "Please," he whispered to the young shopkeeper behind the counter, his voice trembling like an old phonograph needle. "Play the song my wife used to sing. It was our everything." The shopkeeper, a lanky 20-something named Alex with tattoos peeking from his sleeves and earbuds dangling around his neck, paused mid-scroll on his phone. He wasn't used to customers like this. Most came for trendy reissues or indie bands, not ghosts from another era. But something in the old man's plea tugged at him, a raw vulnerability that cut through the shop's ambient hum of static and soft jazz. "Sure, mister," Alex said, setting his phone aside. "What's the song? I'll see if we've got it." The old man leaned on the counter, his gnarled hands steadying himself. "It's Moon River by Henry Mancini, but not just any version, the one Audrey Hepburn sang in Breakfast at Tiffany's. My Eleanor. She had a voice like that, soft and dreaming. We'd dance to it in our tiny kitchen, back when the world was ours." Alex nodded, intrigued despite himself. He rifled through the stacks, his fingers flipping past Beatles albums and Motown hits until he found a worn copy of the soundtrack. Sliding the record onto the turntable, he lowered the needle, and the first notes crackled to life, haunting, wistful, like rain on a window pane. As the melody filled the shop, the old man's eyes closed, and he was transported. Back to 1952, when he was young Arthur, fresh from the war, his heart scarred but hopeful. He'd met Eleanor at a diner in Brooklyn, her laughter like bells over the clatter of plates. She was a waitress with dreams of Broadway, her voice a secret weapon she unleashed only for those she trusted. Their first date was under the stars in Central Park, where she hummed Moon River while they shared a stolen picnic. Two drifters, off to see the world, she'd sung, her head on his shoulder. Arthur had fallen hard, proposing just 6 months later with a ring he'd saved every penny for. Life unfolded like a well-worn record. Marriage in a small church, a modest home in the suburbs, 2 children who grew up too fast. Eleanor never made it to the stage life's demands pulled her into motherhood and part-time work, but she sang to their kids at bedtime, her voice weaving magic into ordinary nights. Arthur worked as a mechanic, his hands forever stained with grease, but every evening, he'd come home to Eleanor's smile and that song playing on their old radio. It became their ritual. After dinner, they'd push the table aside and dance, her in his arms, the world fading away. But time, that relentless thief, began to steal pieces. The kids moved out, pursuing their own dreams. Arthur's back gave out, forcing early retirement. And then, the diagnosis: Eleanor's forgetfulness wasn't just age, it was Alzheimer's, creeping in like fog over a river. At first, it was small things, misplaced keys, forgotten names. But soon, she couldn't remember their anniversaries or the words to her favorite song. Arthur cared for her tirelessly, playing Moon River on loop, hoping it would anchor her drifting mind. One night, as he held her frail hand in the hospital, she looked at him with a flicker of recognition. "Arthur, sing it for me," she whispered. He did, his voice cracking, until her eyes closed for the last time. That was 5 years ago. Now, at 87, Arthur lived in a quiet apartment, surrounded by echoes. The record shop was his pilgrimage, a place where music bridged the gap between then and now. Back in the present, as the song played, tears streamed down Arthur's face. Alex watched, feeling an unexpected lump in his throat. He'd lost his own grandmother recently, and this stranger's grief mirrored his own unspoken pain. "Is that her?" Alex asked softly, nodding to a faded photo Arthur had pulled from his wallet, a young woman with bright eyes and a radiant smile. "Yes," Arthur replied, his voice steadying. "Eleanor. She was my Moon River, my huckleberry friend." The shop door jingled again, admitting a young couple browsing hand in hand. They paused, drawn by the music, and for a moment, the shop felt alive with shared humanity. Arthur lingered as the song ended, the needle lifting with a soft click. "Thank you, son. You don't know what that meant." Alex smiled faintly. "Anytime. Come back whenever." As Arthur turned to leave, he paused. "Life's short. Hold on to your songs, your people." Don't let them fade. Outside, the city buzzed indifferently, but inside Arthur, a spark reignited. He walked home with a lighter step, humming the tune under his breath. Yet, the story was far from over. Unbeknownst to Arthur, Alex had recorded the moment on his phone not to share online, but to capture something real in a digital world. Little did he know, this encounter would ripple outward, touching lives in ways neither could imagine. That evening, Arthur sat in his armchair, the photo of Eleanor on his lap. Memories flooded back, their first argument over money, resolved with a dance, the birth of their son, James, who now lived across the country and called sporadically, their daughter, Lily, who visited more often but carried her own burdens. Lily had urged him to move into assisted living, but Arthur resisted. "This is where your mother and I built our life," he'd say. But loneliness gnawed at him, a silent companion. The next day, Arthur returned to the shop. Alex greeted him warmly. "Back for more." "Actually," Arthur said, "I was wondering if you have any other records like that. Songs from the old days." Alex grinned. "Plenty. Let me show you." As they browsed, Alex shared his own story. Raised by a single mom, music was his escape. "My grandma used to play old jazz. Reminds me of her." A bond formed, tentative but genuine. Arthur began visiting regularly, sharing tales of wartime heroism and post-war dreams. Alex listened, absorbing wisdom like a sponge. One afternoon, a twist arrived in the form of a surprise visitor. The door opened, and in walked a middle-aged woman with Eleanor's eyes. Lily, Arthur's daughter. "Dad, what are you doing here?" she asked, surprised. Arthur beamed. "Meeting a new friend. Lily, this is Alex." Lily shook Alex's hand, her expression softening. She'd been worried about her father's isolation, but seeing him animated brought relief. As they chatted, Lily revealed she'd come to town unexpectedly for a job interview. "I might move back, Dad. Be closer." Arthur's heart swelled. The shop, once a refuge, now felt like a turning point. But deeper emotions stirred. Lily confessed her own struggles, a failing marriage, the pressure of raising teens alone. "Mom always knew what to say," she said tearfully. Arthur hugged her. "She'd sing to you. Let me show you." He asked Alex to play Moon River again. As it spun, father and daughter danced awkwardly at first, then with growing ease, laughter mixing with tears. Alex watched, moved. This wasn't just about an old song. It was about connection, healing across generations. Weeks passed. Arthur's visits became routine. He even brought old photos, regaling Alex with stories. In return, Alex introduced him to modern music, blending eras. Then, another unexpected layer emerged. One day, a young boy entered the shop. Alex's nephew, Tim, aged 10, dropped off while his mom worked. Tim was shy, clutching a sketchbook. "Uncle Alex says you have cool stories," he mumbled to Arthur. Arthur smiled. "Plenty. Want to hear about a girl who sang like an angel?" As Arthur spun his tale, Tim's eyes widened. The boy, dealing with his parents' divorce, found solace in the narrative of enduring love. By day's end, Tim had drawn a picture, Arthur and Eleanor dancing under a moonlit river. "This is for you," Tim said. Arthur accepted it, choked up. "Thank you, young man. You've captured it perfectly." The twist deepened when Tim asked, "Can I hear the song?" Alex played it, and the shop filled with magic once more. Tim swayed, imagining his own future. Arthur realized his story wasn't just his anymore. It was a bridge, linking past to present, inspiring hope. As summer faded, Arthur felt renewed. He started volunteering at a local senior center, sharing music and memories. Lily did move back, mending family ties. One evening, Alex proposed something bold. "What if we host a listening night? People share their songs and stories." Arthur agreed. The event drew a crowd, young and old, each with a melody tied to the heart. As Moon River closed the night, Arthur addressed the group. "Songs don't die, neither does love. Hold them close." The room erupted in applause, hearts touched. But life's river bends unexpectedly. News came. The shop faced closure, rents soaring. Arthur rallied, enlisting friends. They petitioned, fundraised, saving the haven. In gratitude, Alex revealed a secret. He'd been composing a song inspired by Arthur's tale. He played "Eat a Modern Twist" on Moon River, blending electronics with classic melody. Tears flowed. For Eleanor, Alex said. Arthur embraced him like a son. And for all of us, The success of the listening night transformed the record shop into a community beacon where melodies wove threads of connection amid the chaos of modern life. Arthur, once adrift in solitude, now found purpose in these gatherings, his faded suit a badge of resilience rather than regret. But as autumn leaves began to fall, a shadow loomed, one that would test the bonds forged in vinyl and verse. Arthur arrived early one crisp morning, eager to help Alex set up for the next event. The shop smelled of fresh coffee and aged paper, a comforting blend. Alex was sorting new arrivals, humming under his breath. "Morning, Arthur," Alex called. "Got something special today, a rare pressing of Sinatra. Thought you'd like it." Arthur chuckled. Eleanor loved Old Blue Eyes. Said he sang like he knew heartbreak. As they worked, conversation flowed easily. Arthur shared more about his war days, the muddy trenches of Korea, letters from Eleanor, keeping him sane. "Her words were my lifeline," he said. Alex nodded, opening up in turn. "My dad left when I was kid. Music filled the gap. Grandma taught me that." Their camaraderie deepened, but fate had a curveball ready. Mid-morning, the door burst open, and in stormed a burly man in a crisp business suit. "Mr. Harlan, the landlord." "Alex, we need to talk," Harlan barked, ignoring Arthur. "Rent's due, and with the market, it's going up. Double." Alex paled. "We just saved the place last month. Can't do that." Harlan shrugged. "Business is business. Pay or vacate." Arthur stepped forward, voice firm. "This shop's more than brick and mortar. Its heart's beating to the same rhythm." Harlan sneered. "Sentiment doesn't pay bills, old-timer." As Harlan left, tension hung heavy. Alex slumped against the counter. "What now?" "I poured everything into this." Arthur placed a hand on his shoulder. "We'll fight, like I did for Eleanor." They brainstormed. More events, online campaigns. Lily joined, using her marketing skills to spread the word. Word spread fast. Locals rallied, petitions circulated. Even Tim drew posters, his childish art tugging at heartstrings. Amid the chaos, a personal storm brewed for Arthur. A letter arrived from his son, James, estranged for years after a fallout over inheritance. "Dad," it read, "heard about the shop from Lily. Coming home. We need to talk." Arthur's hands shook. James had left angrily, blaming Arthur for favoring work over family. Eleanor had been the peacemaker, but without her, the rift widened. The reunion loomed like a thundercloud. Days later, James arrived tall, graying, with a weary expression. He entered the shop hesitantly. "Dad," he said, voice gruff. "Son." Arthur embraced him awkwardly. They talked haltingly at first. Jobs, grandkids James had. Then, the dam broke. "I resented you," James admitted. "Always fixing cars, never at my games." Arthur sighed. "I did it for you, for the life we had. But I missed too much. I'm sorry." Tears fell. "Mom would want us together," James said. They hugged properly, healing beginning. James stayed, helping with the shop's plight. His business acumen proved invaluable, negotiating with Harlan. But the twist came unexpectedly. During a heated meeting, Harlan revealed his own story. A widower, his wife loved music too. She sang "Fly Me to the Moon" before cancer took her. Arthur's eyes widened. Eleanor sang that. A shared glance sparked empathy. Harlan softened. "Maybe we can work something out." Rent stabilized, the shop saved again. Gratitude overflowed. Arthur felt Eleanor's presence in every victory. Winter approached, bringing holidays. The shop hosted a Christmas event. Carols, stories, warmth against the cold. Tim performed his first song, dedicated to Arthur. "For the man who taught me about love." Arthur beamed, but health faltered. A cough persisted, doctor visits revealed pneumonia. Hospitalized, Arthur worried. "The shop needs me." Visitors flooded. Alex, Lily, James, Tim. They played Moon River at his bedside. "You gave us this family," Alex said. Arthur smiled weakly. "No, you did." Recovery was slow, but support carried him. Home for New Year's, he reflected on the year, from solitary grief to communal joy. One night, alone, he dreamed of Eleanor. "Keep singing, Arthur," she whispered. He awoke renewed, vowing to live fully. Spring bloomed, shop thriving. Arthur mentored Tim, teaching history through music. Another surprise. Alex's song went viral online, shared from a recording of the event. Listeners connected, stories poured in. A publisher approached Arthur for a memoir. Your life inspires. Hesitant at first, he agreed, with help from family. Writing unearthed buried emotions, regrets, joys. It became therapy, a legacy. As pages filled, Arthur realized his story wasn't ending, it evolved. At a book signing in the shop, crowds gathered. He read excerpts, voice strong. Thank you for letting an old man's tale touch your hearts. Applause echoed, but the true reward was family around him. Lily laughing, James proud, Tim sketching. Alex pulled him aside. You're the father I never had. And you're the son I gained. Embracing, they played the song one more time. Life's river flowed on, carrying lessons of love, loss, redemption. Yet, whispers of more challenges lingered. Health changes, but with bonds strong, they faced them. Arthur looked out the window, humming. The world, once faded, shone brighter. With the memoir's success, Arthur's world expanded beyond the record shop's walls, drawing him into a whirlwind of interviews and speaking engagements that reignited his sense of purpose. Yet, as fame's glow warmed his later years, an undercurrent of doubt surfaced. Was this truly honoring Eleanor's memory, or just filling the void? The answer would come in a revelation that shook the foundations of his rebuilt life. Arthur sat for his first radio interview, the host's voice smooth over the airwaves. Arthur Thompson, author of Moon River Memories. Tell us about the song that started it all. He leaned into the mic, voice steady. It was Eleanor's anthem, our promise to drift together, no matter what. Listeners called in, sharing parallels, lost loves, cherished tunes. One woman wept. Your story saved my marriage. Arthur felt humbled, a vessel for healing. Back at the shop, Alex managed the influx of customers drawn by the buzz. You're a star, Arthur. He waved it off. Just an old fool with stories. But fame brought complications. Reporters dug into his past, unearthing wartime secrets Arthur had buried, a medal for bravery, but also the guilt of surviving when comrades didn't. One article questioned, hero or haunted? Thompson's untold traumas. Arthur read it, hands trembling. Nightmares returned, explosions, fallen friends. Lily noticed. Dad, talk to us. Over tea, he confessed. I never told Eleanor everything. Feared it'd break her. James squeezed his shoulder. It makes you human. Support helped, but a bigger storm brewed. A letter arrived from a stranger. Dear Mr. Thompson, I believe I'm your granddaughter. My mother was adopted your daughter. Arthur stared, shocked. Lily and James were his only children, or so he thought. Flashback to 1949, pre-Eleanor, a brief romance during basic training, a girl named Clara. She vanished. He assumed it ended. But the letter claimed Clara had a baby, given up for adoption. DNA test confirmed. The woman, Sarah, 45, arrived nervously. I grew up wondering about my roots. Arthur embraced her, tears flowing. Welcome home. Family expanded, but emotions swirled. Lily felt displaced at first. Why now? Sarah explained. The book prompted her search. Your words gave me courage. Twist upon twist, Sarah brought her own child, a teen girl named Ella, short for Eleanor. Ella, musical prodigy, sang Moon River flawlessly. Grandma's song, she said. Arthur's heart mended further. She lives in you. Integration wasn't seamless. James clashed with Sarah over inheritance talks, old wounds reopening. But music bridged gaps. A family jam session in the shop, Ella on guitar, Tim drumming, all singing. Harmony prevailed. As summer peaked, Arthur faced health scares, in a heart flutter. Doctors advised rest. He refused. Life's for living. Instead, he planned a charity concert, proceeds for Alzheimer's research, honoring Eleanor. Rehearsals buzzed. Alex composed more, Ella performed. The night arrived, shop transformed into a venue. Crowds packed in. Arthur emceed, sharing anecdotes. This song taught me love endures. Ella's rendition brought the house down, her voice echoing Eleanor's. Backstage, a quiet moment, Sarah thanked him. You gave me family. And you gave me hope, he replied. Post-concert, reflections deepened. Arthur pondered mortality, but joy outweighed fear. Fall brought closure. The shop expanded, Alex hiring help. Arthur slowed down, content and mentorship. One day, a veteran visited, inspired by the book. Your story helped my PTSD. Arthur listened, offering solace. Chains of healing continued. Winter holidays united the family. Lily's divorce finalized, but she found strength. James reconciled fully. Sarah integrated. Kids bonded. Christmas Eve, they gathered, playing records. Arthur raised a toast to drifters finding home. As snow fell, he felt complete. But life's unpredictability lingered. A call came. A movie producer wanted rights to his story. Arthur hesitated. Only if it captures the heart. Negotiations ensued, family involved. In the end, he agreed, stipulating authenticity. Filming began, Arthur consulting. Seeing actors portray him and Eleanor stirred emotions bittersweet. On set, he met the actress playing Eleanor, a young woman with a voice like hers. Sing it, he requested. She did, and time blurred. Arthur danced with her ghost. Rap party, toasts, laughter. Home, he wrote a final chapter, not goodbye, but continuation. Love's melody plays on, he penned. Looking at Eleanor's photo, he whispered, "We're still drifting, my huckleberry friend." The river flowed, carrying him forward. As the movie adaptation of Moon River Memories wrapped production, Arthur found himself at the precipice of a legacy that extended far beyond his wildest imaginings, a testament to how one simple request in a record shop could ripple into waves of transformation. Yet, in the quiet aftermath, a profound introspection revealed that the greatest stories are those lived in the everyday, where love's quiet persistence outshines any spotlight. With family by his side and melodies in his heart, Arthur embraced the final verses of his symphony, knowing that every ending is but a bridge to timeless echoes. Premiere night glittered with Hollywood flair, but Arthur felt out of place in his faded suit amid tuxedos. Flashbulbs popped as he walked the red carpet, arm in arm with Lily and Sarah. "Mr. Thompson, how does it feel seeing your life on screen?" a reporter asked. "Like reliving a dream," he replied, voice warm. Inside the theater, silence fell as lights dimmed. The film opened with the shop scene, an actor portraying Arthur, plea in his eyes. As scenes unfolded, war, romance, lost tears flowed. Ella squeezed his hand during Eleanor's diagnosis. The song swelled, audience enraptured. Credits rolled to applause. Standing ovation. At the after-party, the director approached. "You inspired us all." Arthur smiled. "Life did that." Fame surged. Book sales soared. Speaking invites poured in. He traveled modestly, sharing messages of resilience. In a small town hall, a widow approached. "Your story gave me strength to sing again." Moments like these grounded him. Back home, routine resumed. Shop visits, family dinners. But age crept in. At 88, mobility waned. A cane became companion. Family worried. "Rest, Dad," James urged. "I am be living," Arthur quipped. A new project, recording an audiobook, his voice narrating. Sessions evoked memories, laughter mixing with sorrow. Completed, it touched more lives. Spring brought joy. Ella's college acceptance, music major. "I'm following Grandma's dream," she said. Arthur beamed. "Make it yours." Tim, now 12, showed talent in art, illustrating a children's book based on Arthur's tales. "You started this," Tim said. Summer family vacation, a cabin by a river, echoing the song. They canoed, sang around campfires. Bonds strengthened. One night, stargazing, Arthur shared deepest regrets. "Wish I'd told Eleanor more how much she meant." Sarah comforted. She knew. Healing full circle. Fall health dip. A fall, broken hip. Surgery, rehab. Hospital days tested spirit, but visitors buoyed him. Alex with playlists, kids with stories. Recovery home. He adapted, grateful for each day. Winter milestone. Film's Oscar nod for soundtrack, Alex's composition. They attended, Arthur in a new suit, gifted by family. Though it didn't win, the experience was victory. Post-awards, reflection. Fame's fleeting, love's eternal. Nearing 90, Arthur penned letters. To family, expressing pride. To Alex, gratitude. To future generations, wisdom. "Chase your moon rivers," he wrote. A quiet birthday, intimate gathering, cake, song. As candles flickered, he made a wish, more time. Days blended peacefully. Mornings with coffee and records, afternoons with grandkids. One evening, alone, he played Moon River, closing eyes. Eleanor's voice seemed to join, soft, loving. He smiled at peace. The next morning, Family found him in his chair, photo in hand, expression serene. Gone but not. Funeral overflowed, stories shared, songs sung. Eulogies painted a life rich in love. Alex spoke. He taught us to listento music, to hearts. Lily, Dad's legacy, family unbreakable. James, forgiveness heals. Sarah, found when least expected. Ella sang, voice soaring. Buried beside Eleanor, under a tree by the river. The shop endured, a memorial plaque, in honor of Arthur Thompson, whose song lives on. Annual events continued, inspiring. Years passed, but impact lingered. Book reread, film rewatched, song replayed. Tim, grown, became artist, dedicating works to Arthur. Ella toured, crediting him. Family gathered yearly, sharing memories. In quiet moments, they felt his presence seen a melody, a laugh. Love's river flowed endlessly, carrying his spirit. And so, the old man in the faded suit, who asked for a song, reminded the world. Memories bridge time, hearts connect eternally, and every life, no matter how ordinary, holds extraordinary power. In the end, it's not the fade that defines us, but the light we leave behind.